We all know that depreciation is one of the best components of investing in real estate. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can supercharge it through something called a cost segregation. Let's get started. If you do not know what depreciation is, I'd encourage you to watch this video here. We talked about that in depth in that video, and so if you need a refresher on it, how it works and why it is a benefit to you, go ahead and watch that video. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that you already understand what depreciation is, and so we're just going to talk about how you can supercharge it through a cost segregation. So normally what happens when you buy a rental property or any type of real estate property is that it has all of its components together. You don't just buy a shell normally, you buy a whole building and it's operable in some type of way. It's got kitchen, it's got fixtures, it's got bathrooms, it's got doors, it's got handles, it's got electrical, it's got HVAC. Everything is already in the property, and you are likely going into the property to rehab, refresh it, and rent it out or sell it. However, when we do a cost segregation is going to look at the whole and break it out into its parts. So it's not just going to say, hey, we're looking at 123 Main Street and is worth $200,000. We're going to say, hey, 123 Main Street is worth $200,000, but 25,000 of it is associated with appliances. 30,000 of it is the roof. 50,000 of it is cabinetry, so on and so forth. And when we take that approach to break out the parts, as we talked about in the previous video, we learned that these different assets have different useful lives. And the nice thing about that is that when we have depreciation of assets with useful lives of 15 years or less, we are able to take something called bonus depreciation. What bonus depreciation is? It's simple, is that we are able to accelerate or pull forward the depreciation expense from the entire useful life, 5, 7, 15 years, to the first year or first couple years of the life of the asset, which is a great tax savings opportunity. So now that we're clear on that, how does the cost segregation do that? What happens is that an engineer is going to take a look at the property and they're going to go through it through a fine-tooth comb, and they will categorize the different components of the property and place them in their appropriate buckets. So you can say, all right, as I said, 20,000 here, this is 5-year assets. 50,000 here, these are 7-year assets. 30,000 here, these are 15-year assets. And then everything else is going to go to the 27.5, which is the straight line depreciation or the useful life for residential real property. So how does this work to your advantage? As I said, you get the opportunity to take bonus depreciation. And if you know whether you are selling a property that has appreciated over the time that you've held it, so you bought a property for $300,000, now it's worth $500,000. Well, you already know that you're going to pay taxes on that $200,000 in gain that you earned on that property. But let's say at the same time, you also bought a new property. Well, you can use a cost segregation to pull forward some of that expense and offset the income that you generate on the sale of the pre-existing property. So who's a candidate to do a cost segregation? Pretty much anyone. There are various resources that you can use to get a cost segregation study done. I'm actually partnered with RE Cost Seg, and they are linked down below. They offer a very affordable cost segregation study that you can do on a single family property, even worth $100,000 or $200,000, which before was the cost for that type of study was prohibitive. But now you're able to get one done and take advantage of this tax strategy for yourself as well. So you can get a cost segregation on properties, single family properties, multifamily, commercial, as long as there is a way for you to go through. In practice, I have seen even McDonald's, right? So McDonald's franchise owners, they go in and they're renovating their restaurants. Well, I've seen them take cost segregations on the restaurants to pull out the components to make sure that they're taking advantage of bonus depreciation and accelerated depreciation to offset the income that they're generating in the restaurant. So even if you're a restaurant owner and you also own the building that your restaurant is in, this is an opportunity for you. So this is not just for real estate investors, it's for anybody who owns property or has the rights to take depreciation expense on the property in which they are in. This would be a strategy strategy for you. So if you want to see a real life example of how a cost segregation can lower your taxable income, I just suggest that you click this video here and let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about how a cost segregation works.